Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Gaming with The Sims. Today we're going to be having a look at X-Wing and a bit of differences between X-Wing 1 and X-Wing 2.0. So as you can see in the bottom corner we have got three ships. We're going to look at the differences between the two versions with these ships. With X-Wing 1, most of the models have been around for a while and they're rigid plastic. But it was quite nice when we saw the U-Wing from Rogue One, I'll bring it up here, come, and it means you can actually move it. This was really nice because we used to have the title cards which worked with either landing or attacking. So you could represent it here with it landing and then wide when it was attacking. This was quite nice and novel because we see in the movies the wings move, so why not, can't we have it with the ships? So you'll have seen a lot of ships which you wish they could do it. Well, with the new release they are giving that wish. So we've seen the U-Wing do it. Now this is an X-Wing. So it comes like this, and then if you squeeze it apart here, the wings will open. So easiest way to do it is squeeze the back. So squeeze like this and the wings will open like that, which works quite nicely with their new title card. And then easiest way is just to close it like that and it will close. With this one at the moment, which is on sale at the moment, they don't stay apart very well, but apparently they are meant to get better with the core box set and the new release. So you might think that they're just a repaint of the ship for some of them, but some of the ones, if they're meant to have moving parts, they will have moving parts, which was quite nice because we've seen again that more title cards which are coming up with it, the foils either attack or close. So we are seeing more with the ships, with them moving around. So that is a brief look with what's changing with the models. The next area which is changing is the base sizes. You'll see we've got two examples. This is quite a large ship for a small base. A bit oversized really for that. And then we've got the other example here where we've got, it looks just far too small for that base. So what is quite nice is we're getting medium bases now, which would hopefully open up the balance between them. It's quite good that we've got one which is coming from a small base to a big base, because of when you have a look at the pegs, you've obviously got a difference in the size of the clips which go in. So even though the medium bases use the same pins as the large bases, they've done a novel one which goes from thick to thin. So even though this is meant to be on a small pin, it will sit quite nicely on a medium base, like so, which is quite cool. Then obviously we've got the U-Wing, and as a nice comparison I've got two U-Wings here for you to see. So if you can see that, you can see it looks much more at home on the smaller base, on the medium base and then the large base. There's also, with the bases, if we look at the X-Wing one, we can see better. Here is the current the X-Wing differences. I'll use the big camera here. So you can see this is version 1, quite basic. We're now bringing up, it's still got the same front arc, but it's got different lines. Well, it's got a rear arc, so you know the rear, and also the sides. We've got the side dotted lines. This is for barrel roll, which is quite important. And we've also got the bullseye arc. All the bases I've got with me at the moment have the same width for the bullseye arc, so I can't really show you much difference there, but some of them are narrower. So as again, and they've also taken off some of the more like the attack, evade, hull and shields, just to try and declutter it. Also the actions have also now gone, so it looks much more clear. So that is a little look at the different sizes of the bases and the well, medium to large or small to medium, and then what's actually on the bases. Next we can have a quick look at is, if we pull away here, we're going to have a look at the movement dials. So here is a version 1 movement dial, and here is a version 2 movement dial. On it, they don't look much when you take it apart, but again we'll use the big camera to have a look at these. So this is quite hard to move here. This is a normal cardboard one. Obviously they did bring out plastic ones, which you could actually see if I take a spare dial here. So it was on the back. This worked really well being able to see. So when they made version 2, they've made it like this. So if you have a look, we've got the arrow pointing to it on the outside, and at the base here it's an easy turn, so you can turn it around easily. Or if you have a look at here, and you've got lines to make sure even if it's like this and it's not clear, it's still pointing directly in one, so there's less chance of arguments if it's halfway in the middle. As you can see here, it does show the blue and red and white. This is because we used to have green, meant it was a bit harder for colourblind people. But again, if we can have a look, here's the 2 dials, and these are the same ships, version 1 and version 2. So you can see there are slight changes to the dials and what they're going to do. But again, the new cardboard dials are much easier. And also on the back, when they're face down, the old ones used to be face down like this. Couldn't tell with what they were on the front, which isn't really practical when they're face down on the table like this. Can't really tell them apart. But when these are face down, it actually says the ship on it, and they're quite much like more nicer being this way around. So obviously when it's concealed and when you've revealed it, so it's much nicer as the area. Now, quite importantly, they have given us in version 2 a little diagram here to show you how to put dials together, because in version 1 you used to take your area with all your dials on and put it to the back against here, so it would show up through the little V. Now we've got the one for when it's concealed, and you've got the movement dial. You want to make sure you don't put the information to the back of it when you clip it together, because obviously you wouldn't then see anything. So it's make it important that you do put it the right way around. So this is the Imperial one on the back and the Rebel one, so they're quite nice. Now finally, we can just have a brief look at the card differences between. So when we have a look at version 1, and I have misplaced the actual pad already, and it slipped on the floor. do apologise. So this is the original card. It's just a basic pilot skill one. We aren't going into any of the special pilots. So this is the pilot card, and along the bottom you have your actions and the equipment, and then you pick your equipment with the little slots, and they go there nicely. A bit of a difference in size, but this is what it used to look like. So if we just bring it down here, so I've got one of each slot, and then I've got a modification as well, which are the foils, which open and close like we saw the ship do. Next, here is a version 2 card. There's no points and there's no upgrades. This is for when after we've had a bit in the tournament scene and we've found something's overpowered or it's not being properly play tested, Fantasy Flight can quickly adjust either the points or the slots if the ship needs it. This now needs to go into the centre more if it's got foils, because we're going to have a look at the upgrade card. So the upgrade card, the foils are both sided, and these are for when ships got fins which can open and close, and they slide underneath like this. If you haven't noticed, the upgrades are the same size to the actual ship card. So it sits in underneath like this, and for the X-Wing it has inherited a extra ability which is barrel roll, and then the foils also can add some abilities to it. We've got new torpedoes here. So for upgrades it says the slot here, and then it's got a bit of detail here. Again, we don't have any points, we do have text abilities, and more importantly, what is new to the game is this charge here. That energy, that means it's got multiple multiple shots, and certain areas can recharge or reload. But again, it's got distance and everything. If you notice, to get it to fit perfectly, you have to overlap the card slightly there to fit in. Again, so we've got big saying what it is at the back, and then it's on the side, so this slots under, and then it slots under here like so. So it just adds a bit, it looks nicer. And then finally, this is one of the new packs where you get the U-Wing and the X-Wing in. They've brought out a new astromech with this one, which is the Flight Assist astromech. But interesting, they haven't brought a version 2 version out with this. This box does have version 1 and version 2 in it, this latest release, because it's getting ready. But they have given us 2 extra astromechs, but neither of them are the same as this one. And some of the wording is slightly different between version 1 and version 2, so it's interesting. What's also interesting is, although you can see some of the new tokens online, in these boxes all it comes with for the cardboard portion of them is cardboard base plates and cardboard maneuver dials. That's the only things we've got. We haven't got any other type of tokens at the moment which have come with this wave of ships. We're going to be looking at how it all works together in a couple more episodes, the next episode of X-Wing, which is going to be next month, because it looks at more like the shape of the tokens and how it can interact with each other. So that is a bit of a brief about the new ships if you haven't seen them, and I hope that you tune in. The next episode after this is this Friday. So have a good evening, and I hope to see you soon. Good night.